How did I meet Uncle Greg?
I had a great relationship with my dad. He was awesome. He was a great dad to me and a fantastic grandparent to Evan, Luke, and Sage. We did so many things together. We used to bike ride every Saturday when I was little and watch movies. And then when the kids were born, he would watch movies with them and go to all their sporting events and any of their school productions. He was a great guy.
Well, Uncle Greg and I met on a blind date. Actually, neither one of us wanted to go out with the other person. We had both been dating someone else and really weren't interested in dating. And so we had friends that kept encouraging us to go out. So we went out on a blind double date with our friends, and we had a great time. And I never dated anyone else after we went out.
My background is engineering, so it's a sort of a technical aspect of medicine. It's one of the fields that it attracts people that are a little bit tech savvy and engineering savvy. And I thought this would be actually quite difficult because you get really close to your patients, and that aspect of it didn't sit too well for me initially. But once I got into it and I did some rotations and was in the field, it's actually very rewarding.
We had a daughter 2 years after we were married. 2 years later, we had a little boy, and his name is Justin. Our oldest daughter is Julie. And then we have a daughter, Judy, who was born 9 years later.
He was born on May 29th, 1945 in Brooklyn, New York, and he died here on Coronado on March 29th, 2013.
He was the first one in the nation to participate in the trial at this level, with it being a higher dose.
He had cancer about 19 months, and he had pancreatic cancer, which is usually advanced as soon as they find it. So overall, we were really lucky he lived as long as he did, because normally most pancreatic cancer patients pass in the first 4 months.
Pancreatic cancer usually is not found at an early stage, and he was already at stage 3, which was one of the criteria for meeting this requirements for the trial drug, that the trial drug was being done on stage 3 pancreatic patients. Also, his was located on the central nerve by the spinal cord.
Then there is a group of patients that unfortunately you cannot offer them cure, and you try to palliate them and help them through making them feel better for a period of time, and that is a little bit more sad and taxing and a little harder time of their life to get them by.
I'm affected by clients that have cancer because, or how I am is, it emotionally takes a toll on me. And I really have to make sure that I have good boundaries with them, and I have to make sure that I'm in the right frame of mind.
Doctor never said 100% success or 100% failure.
We passed the 50% line. We're curing more than 50%. About 5 years ago, we passed that line, and nowadays we are curing about 68% of the cancer cases that are diagnosed, and we're losing the battle in 32% of it.
Do I have any advice for others that are dealing with a loss from cancer? Well, I guess take a deep breath. Know it's something you have to go through. But I would encourage them to lean on their friends, family. Do not try to handle it on your own, because you can't.
The best thing we can do is just make ourselves available to the person, let them know that we care and that we're there if they want to reach out. The other thing is I would recommend getting some professional help, because you need that support system. There's a lot of group therapies for families and caretakers of cancer patients. There's a lot of resources that I think people should know about and be able to take advantage of.
If you don't have to make a decision at the moment, don't, because you're already dealing with so many emotions, and if you've been through a long illness, you're exhausted. So I would give the advice that my pastor gave me. It's take some jammy days and just kind of hang out with yourself. Give yourself permission to cry, holler.
Have to, instead of dealing with half empty of the glass, I would rather emphasize to the family and the patient that the glass may be half full rather than half empty.
Are you kidding me? Did it have to be cancer?